Hey there, it's Max. Welcome back to the Art of the Craft. It is a rainy and gross day today, so I thought we'd make some chili. Let's get cooking. This recipe comes courtesy of the great American poet Kenji Lopez in his website Serious Eats. Make sure to check that out. I'll make sure to link in the description below so that you can visit straight from the source. But let's go ahead and get started. This recipe couldn't be simpler. Really what we're gonna do is take a bunch of vegetables, throw them in the pressure cooker, and then cook them down. There's no liquid added. All of the juices from the vegetables will get cooked into the sauce, and that will supply the water to make the steam and to make the pressure. What I'm gonna do is actually use a head cam here. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try some fun new things in the kitchen to see if you can get a different angle. So first things first is gonna be the vegetables. I've got a bunch of different vegetables over here. Got some yellow onions that we'll go ahead and kick this off with. Now, like I mentioned earlier, all of the vegetables can really just be thrown in the pot. You don't need to have well-minced vegetables in any of these scenarios because the pressure cooker is going to really cook them down into the base of the sauce, and you're going to blend it later. So, and just cut it like that. That's really all the cutting and chopping that is required. I've got some garlics and chili. I do like a little bit of spice in my food, so in this case I'm going to use a serrano. You could certainly use a jalapeno if you want. These are spicier than a jalapeno, not nearly as spicy as something like a habanero or a California Reaper or anything like that. Inside, if you cut these, and I'll just show you, all the seeds, this is where the chemical capsaicin is most highly concentrated, and that's the spicy chemical that is part of all of these chilies and peppers. So if you wanted something a little less spicy, you could cut out all of these gills and all of these seeds, and that would kind of tone down the overall spice. Because I'm only using one, I'm just gonna put the whole thing in there, and you don't have to cut it up. I've got about 5 or 6 whole garlic cloves in here. Like I mentioned earlier, the vegetables are all going to get cooked together, so we don't really have to worry about crushing them or anything like that. So we'll leave those whole. Over to our peppers. These are all of the green peppers that we have. I have some Anaheim and some Cubanelle and poblano peppers. These I am going to pull some of these seeds out. I'm not going to be too picky about it. And you see how just easy I'm doing this? I'm just throwing them in there. This doesn't need to be a complicated endeavor because it's all gonna get cooked down. These are poblano peppers. Poblano peppers are very mild. They have a nice vegetal flavor to them. I would say they're probably a step above the bell pepper as far as spicy is concerned, but they are by no means spicy. But all of the other peppers kind of put together, and you can see they're not crushed or anything like that. So this is, the tomatillo is interesting. It is actually part of the nightshade family. Before you cook with them, you remove this papery outside. You don't want that part. It looks like a little green tomato. It is not actually a tomato, but yeah, so when you cut into it, it looks like this. And we're just gonna throw it in with everything else. The tomatillo is actually full of pectin. Pectin is what kind of thickens this particular chili, but it's also what you use in jams and jellies to thicken those. So we'll be leaning on the pectin from these tomatillos to add some body. This is cumin. I've taken the whole cumin and toasted it, and then I have a bunch of cilantro. Because we're gonna be pressure cooking, you don't even need to do anything to the cilantro. You can actually put the stems and the leaves and everything in there, and when you blend it, it'll all go into the stew or the soup. So what I have here is about a 4-pound pork shoulder, and so you can see the bone right there, and the reason is because it's, first of all, it's cheaper, but secondly, I can pull this bone out and it's really good for my stocks. Chicken broth is actually chicken and pork, for me at least. My beef broths are lamb and beef. You don't need to cut it very small. I'm actually gonna leave it in pretty big chunks. This is just beautiful marbled pork. This marbling, this fat intramuscular is what we mean when we say marbled. All right, let's get this pressure cooker party started. First things first, we're tossing all these beautiful veggies right into the pot. No need for oil, no need for water. These guys are gonna steam themselves up, and that's what's gonna provide all the moisture for the pressure cook. Next up, we've got these big, juicy chunks of pork. Go ahead and just toss them in. Don't be shy. Don't forget the garlic. And then add your toasted spices. Now, let's season this bad boy. Don't forget a big pinch of salt and pepper. Whatever you really love, throw it in. Why are we tossing this? By giving everything a good mix, we ensure that everything cooks evenly and nothing spends too much time on the bottom of the pot where it can burn before the pressure cooker gets up to temp. Now, all that's left to do is to seal it up and come back in half an hour. That's it. The timer is up, the pressure has been released. Always make sure that you're very careful releasing pressure from a pressure cooker. It is, for lack of a better term, a bomb. Yeah, wow. So you can see all of these vegetables have cooked down and released their juices, and you can see how much liquid comes out of these, right? Pull out those pork pieces. What we're gonna do is blend this up and then season the chili. I don't want to blend all the pork, so we want to make sure that it is out ahead of time here. So we'll just stick this in. Chili is done at this point. What we're going to do is season it up a bit. A little extra cilantro, salt, lime is what I really like in mine. And now at this point, you're really just adjusting for flavor according to what you're interested in. Yeah, so I'm gonna put a little bit of lime in here, throw back in the pork here, season it however you like. Hope you enjoy. Catch you next time.